One more time. Is God your desire? Is He your desire? Do you want more? I want.
What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Strategic Bible Study. My name is Nicole, and it is an honor to serve you on today. Today, let's just jump right into the word. Today, we are going to be talking about worship. I think that now more than ever, we need worship to edify the body, right? To alter the mood. So much is happening with this pandemic. There's so much information that we are coming into contact with. And some of those things can cause anxiety, depression, stress, all sorts of things. And so what we do is we worship so that we remain in right alignment. Like Peter, when he stepped out on the water, what he did was he had faith, he had hope, and he had his eye on the target. And so that's what worship does. Worship places our faith in right alignment. It places our eyes on the Messiah or the Godhead, and it allows us to not be consumed even though the storms is raging, but we must keep our eyes on the Messiah. So I want to go to John 4:23 and 24. It says, "But the hour is coming, and now here, when the true worshiper will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth." Now, the word worship, the etymology in English, the word derives from the Old English word worship, meaning to worship, to honor, show reverence to an object which has been deemed as worthiness. So we show homage to something that we have identified is worth something. Right? In the Hebrew, the word is shakah, okay? Shakah. And shakah is made up of three Hebrew letters. It is the shin, the chet, and the hey. Now, when we look at these from the Paleos, right, Hebrew, which is letters that were formed, that's the original language. We have the Paleos Hebrew, which is the original text that was written by the writers of the Bible. And then we have the Sanskrit Hebrew, which is what I'm familiar with and what I know how to read. But the Paleos Hebrew, the letters were able to be read because they performed certain actions. And so through those actions, you were able to discern exactly not only what the word meant, but each letter represented different things. So the shin is actually kind of like a teeth, if you will. And it means to consume, to destroy, to press down, right? It is one letter used to identify that's the first letter used to identify worship, right? So a part of worship, it consumes us, right? It destroys everything that is not like God, right? And it presses us down. And when I say presses us down, it means our insecurities. It presses down our uncertainties, our worries, depressions, anxiety, because we begin to become in alignment. And then when we have chet, we have the place of protection, almost like a gate, a place of refuge. So those things are pressed down and we are protected by the lordship of Yahushua HaMashiach. We are protected by the provisions made by the Most High. We have the hay. The hay is almost like arms being lifted up, right? Arms being outreach. It means to behold something, to look up, to pay attention, and to follow. So when we put those things together, what we have is something that consumes us, something that destroys everything that is not like the holy nature of God, something that presses down and places us in right alignment. And in doing so, it places us in a protective place. It places us in a place of refuge, even almost like the inner room, a holy of holy, if you will. And in doing so, what it does is it causes us to pay attention. It causes us to behold the voice of God and the move of God, okay? Shakah. The Greek word, I do not know how to say that, so I'm not going to try. But the definition of the Greek is to kiss the hand of one. token of reverence, okay? In the New Testament, kneeling or prostrating to the homage, reverence, whether in order to express respect or to make supplications to God, to Christ, to heavenly beings, okay? And then where it talks about, so that's what we're doing. We're paying reverence. We're beholding something. We're lessening ourselves so that we can enter into a place of security. And in that place of security, we behold the majesty and the glory of God. We reverence the Godhead. We reverence Christ. We reverence holy beings. Okay. And then when it says, the Father is looking for worshipers, what it's saying is that the originator, Elohim, the one that was and is to come, the one whose spirit hovered over the face of the deep, okay? It's saying that he is looking for worshipers, the author of family, society, and personhood, the author and finisher of all that is. Okay, he is looking for a true worshiper. What does that word true mean? True means what is true in a matter of in any matter under consideration. What is true in any matter. So this is absolute, okay? Truly, in truth, according to the truth. So it's true according to itself, according to the author of where it came from. See, if the Father says it, and he is the author and finisher of families, societies, and persons, and by the same Spirit himself, then what he says true, he is the author of truth. He is the originator of truth. He is the representation of truth. He stands on his own. And so when we have a author that functions in truth, what he's saying is that he wants us to worship him, to lessen ourselves, to shrink ourselves, to find a place of refuge, find a place of sanctity, to reverence Christ, to reverence Yahuwah, to reverence the holiness of his nature, according to his truth, right? Not subjectivity, not secularism, not modernity, but according to his truth, right? According to his truth. Now, you may say, Nicole, wait. How do we get his truth? How do we get his truth? Through the working of the Holy Spirit. Through the working of the Holy Spirit. The working of the Holy Spirit. Remember, right before he left, he gave instructions and he said the promise would come, and that the promise would reveal all things to man, that they would be a helper and it would testify of him. Now, who is it testifying? We know in John, the Messiah says, I am the way, the truth, and the light. So it would testify of the way. It would testify of the truth. It would testify of the light. And so in order to come into the truth that is absolute, okay, in order to come into this revelation and minimize your subjectivity, minimize your knowledge, given that his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, his ways are higher than our ways. In order to minimize that, what we need to do is we need to align with the Holy Spirit. And when we align with the Holy Spirit, then we're able to worship him in spirit and in truth, because the helper reveals to us how to align. The helper reveals to us what things need to happen. The helper testifies of the truth. The helper testifies of the good things. The helper testifies of the Father. The helper testifies of the Son. The helper reveals all things. The helper unifies. It establishes community. So this is what it means to worship in spirit and in truth. And as we worship in spirit and in truth, we are able to calm the storms that rage in our day-to-day life. We are able to step outside of that and have a moment before the throne and then gain strength, gain knowledge, gain wisdom on how to go about our day-to-day. Even more than that, not just to gain authority over our homes and ourselves, but we are able to then infuse the atmosphere with that same authority that is endowed to us via the Holy Spirit. But it all begins with worship. See, when we worship in spirit and true in the sacred spaces, then every aspect of our lives become worship. And so in everything, in parenting, in our work, and our studies, and our relationships, every aspect of that becomes reflective of the worship of the Most High. I hope that this was a blessing to you. May Yahuwah bless you. May he keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and give you his shalom. Grace and peace.